So if you went on Twitter whenever MrBeast made either of these two videos, then you would know that he actually got hate for them. I don't think I've ever seen a more straightforward, non-clickbait video get treated like it was the biggest scandal YouTube has ever saw. But after a few days go by, and everyone outside of Twitter started seeing the hate he was getting, we're all like, shut your fucking mouths. Unless you're gonna come over and help 1,000 people yourselves, you can suck a fat dick. And of course, with his recent release of the video where he builds wells in Africa, he's getting hate again. But it's not from our great nation this time. Play the fucking anthem. Louder. Instead, it's from the same people he helped. Now, leave it to fucking Africa to get the help they need and then get mad at the guy helping them. That's like if everyone got mad at superheroes for the collateral damage they cause, and it's like, oh my bad, did you want to get eaten by a fucking alien or deal with a little construction because you chose to live in a city where a known supervillain lives? Fucking Lex Luthor's building is biggest building in the city. I think I'm gonna move here. I was in Detroit last. I think this is going to be better than Detroit. But according to this Yahoo News article, some Kenyan activists and journalists said that MrBeast has spotlighted the failures of the Kenyan government. Prominent activist Boniface Mwangi contrasted MrBeast's actions with those of the Kenyan government, saying that we are a shameful, horrible country, a begging nation governed by millionaires. Every 5 years, we give newly elected members of parliament and senators a 5 million car grant, fuel those cars every month, but we have no money to drill boreholes for our people. Maybe it's because you're giving the Kenyan government 5 million every 5 years for a fucking car, like cars don't last more than 5 years. You know your country is fucked beyond repair when you do a currency exchange and what's worth hundreds here is worth millions there. If you're complaining about your government spending what a Tesla costs, then you have way bigger problems to focus on. Like this other journalist said, it's embarrassing that a YouTuber jetted into Kenya on a charity tour to perform tasks what our taxes should have completed ages ago. It's embarrassing that it takes YouTube videos for you guys to realize that you should have done what MrBeast was able to summarize in a 10-minute video. That's also how you know your country's fucked beyond repair. A YouTuber is doing more than a government who can't find a way to spend a portion of $20 billion on water for their people. Someone teach the Kenyan government how to use Google so they can know that the rest of the world is telling them that by 2025 they're gonna be fucked. And it's not just politicians voicing their unwanted opinions. Saren Jones, the founder and CEO of the organization Face Africa, which is working to improve water infrastructure and sanitation in sub-Saharan Africa, said, I've been doing this for 15 years, but we've been struggling to continue to work because funding, awareness, and advocacy all take work, and overnight, this person comes along who happens to be a white male figure with a huge platform, and all of a sudden he gets all this attention. It's kind of frustrating. Now, we might have a new successor to Dirtbag of the Year, and this one is big because she would be overtaking 2 people and would be the first ever female to win the award, but I'll let you guys be the judge. So she says she's been running this organization for 15 years and is struggling because of funding, which I would have to say is the most important part. No funding means no awareness, which means no advocacy. However, a Twitter user who can be described as Mr. Needle in a Haystack brought to everyone's attention that back in 2020, Saren Dirtbag of the Year Jones raised $131,000 but spent $83,000 on themselves. That's more than twice what the Kenyan government spends on cars for their whole government. And what's funny is that I was going to take this at face value and risk looking like an idiot, hoping whoever made these claims had all the proof to back it up, because I was definitely not going to fact check them. But someone else posted a screenshot that shows that they in fact raised $131,000. But then if you look at their net income, it only says $3,300. And you're like, how the fuck are the expenses 95% of your income? So then you look right under that, and it shows $83,000 being paid out to the founder and their program manager. This bitch calls out MrBeast for doing more than her organization has ever done in her 15 years of existence, only to pocket half the funds she raises and then bitch about how she doesn't have enough funds. I even went into super sleuth mode and got the raw data for you. Like in 2010, she raised $55,000 and used $22,000 for that on clean water services in Liberia. She also gave herself $8,500, but you can see back then it seems that she was using her money appropriately. The net income is suspiciously low, but hey, 2010 was different. That $733 looked a lot lot better back then. Fast forward to 2020 and she's now giving herself and her homie $40,000 and $50,000 off top no matter how much the fundraiser makes. Maybe take your organization out of Manhattan and move it to Africa so you don't have to spend $36,000 in travel fees, or just an outrageous amount on conferences, conventions, and meetings, which according to her 2017 filings, they don't even keep track of. So that could have been a meeting or a fucking $36,000 vacation for all we know. She even goes on to say that 60% of wells are broken and people go back to drinking from the creek because they have no infrastructure put in place for a follow-up maintenance for repair. Listen, you ungrateful. It's not his job to make sure that your wells are running right. If your government can't even build the wells, I would hope after seeing the hard part being done, they're like, oh well, how can we help now? Every time MrBeast gives someone a car or a house or whatever, it's not his responsibility to fix it if something breaks. I know a well is nowhere near a car or a house, but he's basically giving these fucking cavemen the tools they need to survive, and this is like, can you at least give them the instruction booklet with that? What? You're the one who runs the organization that helps Africa sustain clean water. Give yourself a little less money in your paycheck and be like, hey MrBeast, my white god, how can I help you and serve you and maintain your 100 wells that I was never able to do in my 15 years of being an organization? MrBeast needs to stick to giving away money to people in America because he's popular, but he's not help a country without them getting mad they didn't do it first popular. Until then though, see you Monday. Peace.